Now let us go start more. Let us start the psychological hazards resulting from the heat concern. In summary, the temperature of the surroundings is always in summer. The temperature of the surroundings is always higher than the temperature of the body. And thus, a human body will gain heat from the surroundings by means of the radiation and convection process. The body can dissipate heat only through evaporation of sweat. It can only dissipate or leave, or what you say, it will leave, it will get cold only through the evaporation of sweat. Means you are sweating and it is from your body, it is evaporating and leaving and absorbing the latent heat of evaporation from your body, and thus your body is getting cold. So the body can only dissipate heat through sweat, but if the sweat is not dissipated, but it will give you concern because all your body will wet and it is your sweat is not dissipating, so you are not getting cold, being cold. When the heat loss by the evaporation is unable to cope with the heat gain, then there will be storage of the heat in the body and temperature of the body rise. But if the evaporation, you cannot, evaporation is such that it is by more heat you are getting, but less amount of evaporation is going on. So the bodies get heated, and the temperature will go up. The several psychological hazards exist, the severity of which depends upon the several physiological hazard exists, the severity of which depends upon the external and time duration of the body temperature rise, extent, and what is the amount of temperature which will rise, and what is the time required for temperature rise. That there are some physiological hazards may result due to the rise in the body temperature. The heat exhaustion. It is due to the failure of normal blood circulation. It's symptoms of this failure of normal blood circulation, heat exhaustion. We are getting exhausted, tired. How? As normal blood circulation is going on, it is getting more. The symptom of the heat exhaustion, it includes into fatigue. You are getting fatigue, your headache will be there. You may start dizziness, means in a position of taking sleep, or you might have vomiting tendency, some abnormal mental reaction, such as irritability, etc. Due to the heat exhaustion, you will get so many problems in your body. The severe heat exhaustion may cause fainting. If it is too much heat, you may faint by the sunstroke like this. It does not cause permanent injury to the body, but recovery is usually rapid when the person moves to a close place. Now, if its person concerned is getting a cool place, it really quickly improves because it is temperature being normal when the amount of sweating will take place and make the body cool. Next is heat cramp. It results from the loss of salt due to an excessive rate of body perspiration. Perspiration means so much in the biomass of sweat, we lose our salts from the body, and too much salt loss, it will cause severe pain in the calf and thigh muscles. Means for the extremely high heat, when you are sweating profusely, and you are drawing your the salts from your body, and salt will be lost, salt will not goes to the minimum level and will cause severe pain in the calf and thigh muscles. The heat cramp may be largely avoided by using salt tablets. The heat stroke, it is the most serious habit. When a man is exposed to excessive heat and excessive warmth, the body temperature can be equally rapidly to 40 degrees centigrade, 40.5 degrees centigrade, 105 degrees Fahrenheit or higher. With excessive heat, your temperature will go up. It can go to 105 degrees Fahrenheit. At such elevated temperature, sweating causes a man may enter into a coma with death imminent. And the man may enter in a coma with a death imminent. A person experiencing heat stroke may have permanent damage to the brain. And the heat stroke may be avoided by taking sufficient water at frequent intervals. It has been found that a man doing hard work in the sun requires 1 liter of water per hour. The factors affecting human comfort. In designing winter or summer air conditioning system, designers should be well conversant with a number of factors which psychologically affect human comfort. So the important factors are like this: effective temperature, the heat, so winter and summer air conditioning system. The designer should conversant with a number of factors which physically affect human comfort. The human factors which are supposed to know during the design, that is effective temperature, the heat production. Effective temperature means temperature you are facing was the most part of the cycle in an air conditioner. The heat production and regulation in human body, how the heat is produced and how it is regulated in human body. Heat and moisture losses from the human body. How much heat and moisture losses from the human body. The moisture content of air, quantity and quantity of air, air motion, hot and cold surfaces, and air stratification. These factors are discussed in detail in the following articles here. So effective temperature, the degree of warmth or cold felt by a human body depends mainly on the following three factors: drive up temperature, relative humidity, and air velocity. So how will you get cold? How will you get hot? This depends on the drive up temperature and relative humidity and air velocity. So drive up temperature, the temperature surrounding air when there is very little moisture is present. Relative humidity, that is the amount of moisture present per kg of dry air, and velocity of the air is the air coming in and throwing out from your room. So this, how will you cool and how well you will feel well definitely depends on the temperature and the relative humidity of your air concerned. In order to evaluate the combined effect of this factor, the term effective temperature is employed. So, to combine effect of this factor, we will say the term effective temperature. We use this type of particular term. It is defined as the index which correlates the combined temperature, humidity, and air velocity of the human body. It is defined at that index, means that indication which relates the three effects. The numerical value of the effective temperature is made equal to the temperature of the steel, that is 5 per meter of air velocity saturated air. Still means there is no movement of air full. There is saturated air. Air is fully saturated with the vapor it can carry under the pressure, under the same saturation pressure, which produces some sense of same sense of warmth and coolness as produced under the human condition. The practical application. So first we have to know, you have to use this term effective temperature is to be employed. A practical application of the air. The practical action of the concept of effective temperature is presented by the comfort chart. Presented by the comfort chart as given in the next figure, which I will show you. The effective temperature is presented by comfort chart. Thus, this chart is the result of research made by different type of people subject to a wide range of environmental temperature, relative humidity, and air movement. So, this chart is produced by after the lot of research is being on environmental temperature, or that is the dry bulb temperature of the surroundings, relative humidity means amount of every moisture present in the surrounding and amount of air movement for the movement. This has been done by American Society of Heatings. The refrigeration air conditioning in India is applicable to reasonable still air, 5 to 8 meter per minute of air velocity, to situation where occupants are seated at rest or doing light work to spaces whose enclosing surfaces are at a mean temperature equal to the air triangle temperature. So what you have to do, the still air to situation, it is applicable to reasonable still air, 5 to 8 meter per meter air velocity, to situation where the occupants relatively still air, or else almost there is a stagnant air, to situation where the occupants are seated at rest or giving light work to space whose enclosed surface at a mean temperature equal to air triangle temperature. So first of all, what we have to do here, mean temperature will be equal to the air triangle temperature. Mean temperature is equal to air triangle temperature. No. In the comfort chart, the air triangle temperature is taken as abscissa and wet bulb temperature is taken as the ordinates. These relative humidity lines are replotted from the psychometric chart. These statistically prepared graphs are now corresponding to the matter, corresponding to the summer and winter situation also superimposed. So, to make the comfort chart, we have to use the dry bulb temperature. Dry bulb temperature is taken as abscissa and wet bulb temperature is taken as the ordinates. The relative humidity lines are plotted from, again, we plot the replotted relative lines from the psychometric chart. So, the statistical prepared chart graphs produced to summer and winter season also superimposed. So, what is the this chart graphs for summer and winter season is also superimposed. These graphs have effective temperatures as abscissa and percentage of people feeling comfortable as ordinates. Statistical prepared graphs for summer and winter season, and graphs correspond to some reason. These graphs have effective temperature scale as abscissa and percentage of people being comfortable in ordinate. So this is one graph is statistically prepared in order to have the effect of effective temperature scale as abscissa and percentage of relative people feeling concerned. A close study of the chart reveals that the several combination of wet and dry bulb temperatures with different relative humidities will produce the same effective temperature. From the comfort chart, we see that a point corresponding to dry bulb temperature is 70 degrees centigrade and wet bulb temperature of 12.5 degrees centigrade. Relative humidity of 60%, the effective temperature is 16 degrees centigrade. Thus, for the same feeling of comfort and width, there is another point on 100% relativity line on which triangular relations both are equal to 60 degree. Thus, both have the effective measure equal to 60 degree. Now, however, all points located in the given effective temperature line does not indicate condition of equal comfort or discomfort. The extremely high or low relative humidities may produce condition of discomfort regardless of the excellent existence effective temperature. The maximum high and low temperature humidities may produce condition of discomfort regarding to the excessive relative effective humidity. The most desirable the most desirable extremely high or low relative humidity may produce condition of discomfort regardless of the existing effective temperature. So another important thing is extremely high or low relative humidities is supposed to be produce the concerns of discomfort regardless of the excessive existing effective temperature. The most desirable relative humidity ranges lies between 30 to 70%. Most desirable relative humidity lies between 30 to 40%. 30 to 70%. And when the relative humidity is much below 30%, the mucous membranes and the skin surface become dry for comfort and health. On the other hand, the relative humidity is above 70%, there is a tendency for a climatic or sticky sensation to develop. The curves at the upper bottom and the sheet indicate the percentage of person participating in test, who found various effective temperature satisfaction for comfort. In modern chart, which is given here, the comfort chart shows the range for both summer and winter condition within which a condition of comfort exists for the most people. For summer conditions, the chart indicates that a maximum 98% people felt comfortable for an effective temperature of 21.6 degrees centigrade. For winter condition, chart concern indicates that an effective temperature 20 degrees centigrade is reserved by 97% people. So what is given? So in summer, 90%, almost all people call comfortable temperature of 21.6, and winter condition, this effective temperature 26 degrees centigrade, more or less same, is at by 97% people. It has been found for comfort, women requires 0.5% higher effective temperature than men. All men and women above say 40% of age prefer 0.5% higher humidity temperature than the persons below the 40 years of age. This is the so what is shown in the comfort chart in the axis I just have told you the dry bulb temperature and ordinate wet bulb temperature. We also have the relative humidity lines like 10, 20, 30, 40, 60, etc. So among these, the summer and winter condition, the concerned in the summer constant concern, the right lines These graphs have effective temperature graphs are abscissa and percentage of people coordinates as the ordinates. In the what you see here, these are the charts we are concerned and percentage of the people feeling comfortable is the ordinates, and here the temperature constant is the abscissa. Same is the case with winter season. The percentage of people uh, tasting comfortable given as ordinate, and temperature rise and price is given as the abscissa. So both are imposed along with the rise of the relative temperature and along with the relative humidity line. It may connote that the comfort chart does not take into account the variation of comfort conditions when there are wide variation in the mean radiant temperature, MRT. In the range 26.5 degrees centigrade, the rise of 0.5 in mean radiant temperature above the room temperature. Room temperature. Room rise of temperature rises the effective temperature by 0.5. A rise of radiant temperature will rise room from the effective temperature by 0.5 from the room burn temperature. The effect of mean radiant temperature on comfort is less produced at high temperature and low temperatures. Effect of mean radiant temperature on comfort is less comfortable produced from high or low temperature. In comfort condition, persons at work vary with the rate of work and the amount of clothing worn. In general, the greater the degree of activity, the lower the effective temperature necessary for the comfort. Now, the figure here, this one, shows the variation of the effective temperature is different at velocities. Now, this is the velocity is given here, 0, 60, 100, 200 in meter per minute. And this chart is also given the variation of the effective temperature with wire velocity. We see that for the atmospheric condition 24-degree dry bulb temperature and 60-degree wet bulb temperature, and about 21 degrees centigrade, composed to about 21 degrees centigrade normal is still here, velocity is 6.6 meter per minute, and it is about 17% at air velocity of 210 meter per minute. The main comfortable there is within the case is reversed after 38 degrees centigrade, same temperature also or higher temperature and wet bulb temperature with higher velocity. This case is reversed after 38.8 degrees centigrade, as there is reversed after 38.8 degrees centigrade at 37.8 degrees centigrade, as there is as in that case, higher velocities will increase sensible heat flow from the air to body that will decrease comfort. The same effective temperature means the same feeling of warmth, but it does not mean the same comfort. So what we see, the effective temperature also has some effect has some control over can be controlled by air velocities. The maximum the atmospheric condition 24-degree by bulb center at 16-degree by bulb temperature at 21 degrees centigrade normal air still air velocity say still air or 6 meter per minute is above 17%, and air velocity is 200 meter per minute. The same is observed at higher air velocity dry bulb and wet dry bulb with higher velocities. This case is reversed when after 38 degrees centigrade when 38 degrees centigrade when there is, as in the case of higher velocity, and will increase the sensible heat flow from air to body and will decrease discomfort. The same effective temperature means some feeling of what it does not means the same comfort. Next comes modified comfort chart. Just 1 second, please. Now, modified comfort chart, as the formula just shown now, has been become obsolete nowadays due to the shortcoming of over exaggeration of humidity at low temperature and underestimation of humidity at hot heat tolerance level. So, uh, humidity level, it is at low temperature and overestimate and humidity level at low temperature and humidity level at high heat tolerance level is not that concern. The modified chart according to HHRAE is shown in the figure below. It will commonly used these days. This chart developed on the basis of research done by United States Institute of Environmental Research, the in Kansas University. It meant radiant temperature is kept equal to dry bulb temperature and air velocity is less than 0.7 meter per second. So here the what in earlier charts is not shown, the over exaggeration of humidity at low temperature. The shortcoming of over exaggeration of humidity at low temperature, if the humidity is more, what will happen? What is the shortcoming? And underestimation of the humidity of heat tolerance level. So what is the effect of humidity on your tolerance level? So both get modified, and thus with this second concern, the radiation other solvents, we are modified with this type of heat chart, modified comfort chart. So heat production and regulation in the human body. Just a second. The human body acts like a heat engine, which acts like a heat engine. Acts like a heat engine which gets its energy from the combustion of food, from the combustion of food within the body. The process of combustion of heat engine which gets its energy from the combustion of food within the body. The process of combustion called uh, metabolism produce heat and energy due to the oxidation of products in the body by oxygen obtained from the inhaled air. The process of combustion produces heat and energy due to the oxidation of products in a body by oxygen obtained from the inhaled air. So we are inhaling oxygen from the air during our respiration, and energy, and the process of combustion metabolism produces heat energy due to the oxidation of products in the body. So all the products in the body produce heat energy by the oxidation of the product by the energy from the inhaled air. The rate of heat production depends on the individual's health, its physical ability, and its environment. The rate at which the body produces heat is termed as metabolic rate. The rate at which the body produces heat is termed as metabolic rate. The heat production from normal healthy person when asleep called basal metabolic rate. is about 60 watts, and it is about 10 times more than the person carrying out sustained very hard work. It is about 10 times more for a person carrying out sustained very hard work. So what is given here? It is the abscissa is the dry bulb temperature here. In this side is the dry bulb temperature, and specific humidity is given on the ordinates on the right side. Here specific humidity, and this is given as the white bulb temperature. Enthalpy, water, air, and this is the white bulb temperatures here. This is the white bulb temperatures like a psychometric chart, and the enthalpy, water hour per year is given over this line. So there are the relative humidity lines here. The 70%, 50%, 20%, 40%, etc. This is the effective temperature scale. And this side is also given enthalpy and vapor pressure millimeter of H. Since the body has thermal efficiency of 20%, therefore the remaining 80% of the body heat must be rejected to this. God knows what is happened. Now, since the body, now in order to affect the loss of heat from the body from the producing cold, in order to affect the loss of heat from the body to produce cold, the body may react to bring more blood to the capillaries of the skin. The heat closest from the skin now takes place by radiation, convection, and elevation. Now, the body may react to bring more blood to the capillaries of the skin. The heat losses from skin now may take place by radiation, convection, and evaporation. When the process of radiation or convection or both fails to produce necessary loss of heat, the sweat gland becomes more active, and more moisture is dissipated on the skin, carrying heat away from it as it evaporates. It may be noted that when the temperature of surrounding air and objects is below the blood temperature, the heat is removed from radiation or convection. On the other hand, let us explain this thing. What you have to do? The body say have a thermal efficiency 20% only. Remaining 80% of the heat will be rejected. So body can use the heat only 20% of it. The remaining 80% will be rejected or lost to the surrounding example. Otherwise, the accumulation of heat results with cause discomforts. Otherwise, it is rejected to the surroundings or surrounding environment. Otherwise, it will accumulate to your body. It will cause discomfort. The higher rate and matter of rejection of heat is controlled by automatic radiation system of human body. The rate and matter of rejection, the manner of rejection, rate, how much will be rejected, how they will reject it, and is controlled by the regulation system of the body. In order to affect the loss of heat from the body to produce cold, just a second. In order to affect the loss of heat from the body to produce cold, the body may react to bring more blood to the capillaries in the skin. These heat losses from the skin now take place radiation, convection, and evaporation. And when the process of radiation and convection both fails to produce necessary loss of heat. The sweat glands become more active and more moisture is to be disposed to the skin, carrying heat away as it evaporates. And moisture disposed on the skin, more moisture is disposed. It may be noted that when the temperature surrounding of a surrounding air and objects is below the blood temperature and the heat is removed by the radiation and convection, on the other hand, the temperature of surrounding air is above the blood temperature and the heat is removed by evaporation only. In case the body fails to throw off the requisite amount of heat, the blood temperature rises. The results in the accumulation of heat will cause discomfort. The human body attempt to maintain the temperature when exposed to cold by the withdrawal of blood from the outer portion of the skin by decreasing blood circulation and by increase of the rate of metabolism. The heat and moisture losses from the human body. The heat given off from the human body is either sensible or latent heat or both. In order to design any air conditioning system for spaces which human bodies are to occupy, it's necessary to know the rate at which these two forms of heat are given off under different conditions of air temperature of the bodily activities. Here we show that the graph between the sensible heat loss by radiation and convection for average man and drive out temperature for different types of activities. The figure here B, figure here A. First figure here. This is the drive out temperature and sensible heat. And A, B, C, D is the heat loss by between sensible heat from the human body and drive out temperature of the still air. And this figure B shows the graph between latent heat by evaporation and the drive out temperature for average man and drive out temperature different type of activities. The third, the total heat loss from the human body under the varying effective temperature is shown as in this figure. It's different. A, B, C, D is different from the curve D, which applies to man at rest. From the curve D, it applies to man at rest. We see that about 90 to 30 degrees centigrade effective temperature, heat loss is constant. At the lower effective temperature, the heat distribution increases with results in feeling of coolness. At higher effective temperature, the ability to lose heat rapidly decreases, resulting in severe discomfort. The curves ABCD represents as follows. Curve the man working at the rate of 90 kilonewton meter per hour. The man working 45 kilonewton per hour, and another man acting 22 kilonewton per hour, men at rest. So these are A, B, C, D, different way of a man can work. If it's work very hard with and producing or releasing energy of 90 kilonewton, it is A. Next 45 kilonewtons, that is B. That C is 22 kilonewtons. D is comfort, is at rest. So the heat loss from as per under very effective shown here. So with this type of working condition, the which shows the grabbing sensible heat by radiation and convection for average man and drive out temperature for different type of activities. So there are different type of activities, A, B, C, D, 4 different type of activities, and the sensible heat loss by radiation, and convection for average man and drive out temperature. So, for how much heat will be lost as per the drive out means are concerned in the surrounding area, and this is a different type of work the person managed to be. Next, how one latent heat is reduced, how the total heat is being reduced, that is a constant effective temperature. Well, so much for this action today. I'm stopping the share. I'm finishing the classes.